Hi everybody, Big Red here, and today we're going to be going over the Eastern Front campaign book from Battlefront. This is a big campaign book for Flames of War, and let's start off with the basics. First of all, this is a 250-page hardcover book. It's $50. Let's open it up and see what we have here. This is a full-color book. Which is just continuing the full-color theme that we've been seeing of late from Privateer and Battlefront. Nice, thick, glossy paper. It's really nicely done all around. And let's talk about a couple things. First of all, in Flames of War, as compared to many other systems that you've seen, the campaign books are done based on geographic area, not based on nation. So as an example, you're not going to see a campaign book about the Germans, or a book about the Americans, or a book about the British. You're going to get a campaign book about North Africa, or about the Eastern Front, or about D-Day, which is actually really nice, because what that means is that if there's a group of players and you want to all get together, you all really want to get into Flames of War, you're going to pick the area that you think is interesting, and then you're going to be able to go out and get that one book, and then you guys are ready to go. Because each of these, as you'll see here in the table of contents, if there are forces involved in the campaign geographic area that you chose, they'll be in the book. So Eastern Front, let's look at the table of contents. This book contains the German army, Finnish, Hungarian, Italian, Romanian, and Soviet. Obviously the two big ones are going to be the Germans and the Soviets. Let's talk about army lists, because we had talked earlier about how in Flames of War there are just large amounts of army lists, so even within a nation. So here's Germany, and as you can tell, each of these listed here, these are different army lists. So you have panzer companies, you have panzer grenadier companies, you have infantry companies, you have Luftwaffe field companies. I mean, you name it, they're in here. A country as small as Finland. Finland has almost 10 army lists for armored infantry, you name it. Hungary, Italy, Romania, the Soviet Union, they have about 15 army lists. Let's go into, let's give you a quick overview to see what one of these things looks like. You get kind of basics on what the definitions mean when you see army lists, how you build infantry, how you actually put your stands together. You get a history of the campaign in question, East Front here, as you can tell. You get a little tiny bit on the different, some of the bare bones basics on each of the armies that are involved, so you kind of know where you're going. And then let's kind of walk you through a little bit of Germany so you can see. You get some history, you get some of the basics of what some of the symbols mean when you're putting your lists together. Really nicely painted miniatures. You get a list of the nation's warriors. These are effectively independent characters that you'd be used to, or heroes that you'd see in other systems, with their special abilities and how much they cost. And then we'll take you through, let's go through a good sample list. Just a nice old basic. This is a panzer company. So let's see what just a nice basic meat and potatoes list looks like. What you get here is you can see that there's two different types of army lists that your panzer company could be based on the symbols, and this will tell you what skill level the troops within the army are. And then the actual organization is this really nice page that is laid out. So you have your mandatory units in black, so you have a headquarters unit, 2 combat platoons, then you have optionals in gray, you have vehicle platoons, weapons platoons that are optional, divisional support platoons that are optional. You get page numbers listed everywhere here, so you can look up exactly where all the rules are, and then each of these equates to what you see over on this side. So for example, the headquarters platoon in a panzer company consists of the commander in the second command, and then there's an optional vehicle. And then you get different amounts of points that they'll cost based on which type of army your panzer company is and what vehicles you choose, because these silhouettes don't necessarily mean the specific model of tank. It's simply that it is a tank, and then the actual options are listed there. And as you can see, as you go down through this list, you get these for everything in the list. And that was just one list. So you get that for, as you can see, just quickly flipping through Germany, it is a big, huge, giant section that just goes and goes and goes and goes. Then, at the end of it, we talked a little bit about how in Flames of War there's just a just tremendous amount of units. So let's take you through the arsenal section of just Germany. This is a listing of all the tanks that they have. And you go, wow, okay, well that's a pretty good amount of tanks. Then these are assault guns. These are vehicle machine guns, infantry guns, artillery, tank hunters, armored cars, different types of infantry teams, different kinds of aircraft that you can purchase as divisional support to come in, guns. This is all the different types of field guns that were deployed on the Eastern Front. Just as you can tell, just a tremendous amount. Trucks, APCs, well over 100 different types of units, just Germany. Special rules, and then and then you go on. This is Finland, this is Hungary, this is Italy, Romania. The Soviet Union is the other big major one. We'll take a very quick look through there. Warriors, fantastic. Miniatures. You get some history, and then as you can tell, the Soviets have do some things very, very differently. So you see things in the Soviet lists, such as you can have such characterful units as Cossack regiments, who still take to the field with large amounts of infantry on horses. You get the dreaded Soviet infantry platoons with just rows upon rows of artillery. You get tank platoons, Strokovy companies, which are infantry companies that just throw wave upon waves of infantry on you, and and that's pretty much it. That takes you to the end. At the very back of the campaign book, you get a small section on painting, on how to put together and paint in campaign appropriate schemes miniatures for each of the nations. And there you go. Eastern Front, 250 pages. That is $50, and that is available today. Talk to you guys later.